the Vancouver Canucks have a chance to make one change to the roster that could completely unlock this team for the playoffs. And that's what we're going to be touching on in this video, the potential of signing Phil Kessel before this season's playoffs. But before we get into all of this Phil Kessel news, we notice that 83% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're looking for a spot to get all your Blackhawks news and news from around the NHL, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button. Hit the sub button so you can join us on the road to Macklin Celebrini, the first overall pick, hopefully going to the Blackhawks, but you never know. But like I said, we're going to go here with a very big opportunity for the Vancouver Canucks. They're closing in on a Phil Kessel signing. He's been invited to Abbotsford for a workout by the Canucks. You can see here from Chris Johnson, as well as many other reporters, probably all of them. He says the Canucks announced free agent forward Phil Kessel will be working out in Abbotsford this week. And the plan is, from another tweet that we've seen, is that he won't be there very long if the Vancouver Canucks do choose to sign him. But I really think this is a huge opportunity for the Vancouver Canucks for one sole reason, and that is playoff experience on this team. Phil Kessel has a lot of that. He has a lot of playoff experience, a lot of regular season experience. Plus, he's 8 points off 1,000 points. So, that would just be something. That'd be something nice to see. But Nick, what do you think about the possibility of Phil Kessel signing with the Vancouver Canucks?
Well, we talked about the same thing that happened last year with Vegas. He didn't play. I don't think he played a game, maybe one or two in the playoffs. But he definitely didn't play any in the finals. But a lot of the guys in that room talked about how much he helped towards their journey of winning the Stanley Cup. And it's not spoken about enough, the experience that comes with a guy in the locker room. Might not play, but his experience will go a long way. He's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, and he's definitely still got some game left in him. At least another 8 points, hopefully.
Yeah, I think that's the absolutely right boat. He's not going to be a guy that's going to be the main focus on this team. The Vancouver Canucks have a very, very good team, and a lot of players that they can share points around, make stuff work, and Phil Kessel would just add to that. He's not going to be going to this team to be that guy that they're looking to get points from or whatnot, but I think the real answer to this is the playoff experience, and I'll pull up right here. This is the playoff experience right now from the Vancouver Canucks. That's it. This is the playoff experience from this entire roster right now. You can see 17 games is the most the players had, which is, the top players on this team, I guess you could say, from their experience. Now, if you put Phil Kessel into this mix, whether he plays or not, this is an absolutely fantastic move for the chemistry on the team, the playoff experience, the nerves, playoff hockey. For those who've been watching for a long time, they know playoff hockey is a completely different game than regular season. It's not even the same ballpark. And having a guy like Phil Kessel, who's been on many different cup-winning teams, many different playoff runs with many different teams, many different locker rooms. This is just perfect for him, especially for a young roster like the Vancouver Canucks. As well, you can see with the forward core right now of Vancouver, I certainly think that Phil Kessel could slot in there somewhere. There's a very busy offensive roster on the forward side. All very good players, all work well together. But Phil Kessel is, he'll fit in there somewhere for sure. It's not like you can't put Phil Kessel anywhere in that lineup. Whether he's a rotation guy or not, I think this is a perfect opportunity. But, I'm curious to see if the Vancouver Canucks will actually do it. A lot of people are thinking that Phil Kessel is kind of done. I guess you could say that he's not really worth playing in the NHL anymore. He had a big drop-off last year, but it's not about that. It's really not about that for the Vancouver Canucks right now. It's about the playoff experience. And with the cap here, something will have to be done to get him on this roster. But Phil Kessel's not going to be wanting, $2 million, $3 million. I think he just wants to play, get those 8 points, like you said, Nick, and get another cup to his resume, which is already above many other NHL players. But I know you already touched on it a bit here, Nick, but what do you think he'll add to a playoff team like the Vancouver Canucks, who right now are seeming to be one of the top teams in this year's playoffs?
Well, what would you rather do? Would you rather call a guy up from the AHL when someone gets injured, or would you rather have Phil Kessel, that guy on the bench, to put in? Now, that could be, he could end up playing on the team like every night. He probably won't. Let's just get out of the way. He won't play every night. But, they've been trying to trade, apparently they've been trying to trade Connor Garland for a while. So that could be someone he could slot in there for Connor Garland while they try to find a replacement if they do end up trading him. And this might give them the flexibility to be able to trade him if they're trying to do so. But with Phil Kessel, I think, like we were talking about, he brings so much more than just being in the lineup. The guy knows what's up. Like, he's been through everything in the NHL. Like we said, playoff runs. He's been through all-star games. He's been through literally thick and thin. And Toronto, down in Toronto, he was there dealing with that media for, I mean, God, that was scrutiny for probably the last 3 or 4 years he was there at least. But and he still managed to play like a good player. So there's nothing that's going to affect him. The Canadian media is nothing new to him. There's nothing that's going to affect him. He's just going to go in there and tell the guys what's up. He's going to know how to calm them down if they're panicking in a situation. He's going to know everything. So I think this is a no-brainer signing for the Canucks.
Yeah, I think that it's the right move regardless, like we said, if he plays or not. You know, it's not about his skill on the ice at this point. Other teams, maybe it would be. But right now with the Vancouver Canucks, the young, talented roster they have, the incredible fan base they have, I think it's just a spot where he wants to go, you know, go get another cup, get up to 1,000 points in his career. And I think the Vancouver Canucks fans, management, the team wants to see him there as well, knowing that the potential that he could add to this team in the dressing room, in the locker room, in the playoff scenario, in a game 7 in overtime. I think that's his specialty at this point, you know. I could easily see Phil going on to being a coach or an advisor or something after his career is over. He's been that kind of player his entire career. He's been someone who's been able to take pressure well, like you said, especially in Toronto with the media that they have, the scrutiny that you could take from making one bad turnover there compared to pretty much everywhere else in the league. And, you know, he's just that kind of guy that I think will help the Vancouver Canucks in this scenario. But another thing he could add, which I'm not saying the Vancouver Canucks don't have this already, the awesome fans that they have, the incredible fan base that they have, he's going to put people in seats. You know, people like to go see and watch Phil Kessel play. He's been a fan favorite in the league for years and years and years since he's been, you know, in Toronto at the early parts of his career. And I think that's just going to add to the Vancouver Canucks' fan base. People are going to be cheering them on. Maybe not fans of Vancouver, but fans of Phil Kessel if he gets to that team. And I think it's a good playoff atmosphere for Phil Kessel, I think, for this point in his career. I think it's a good location where, like I said, he's not going to be dependent on to get a goal, to get a crucial assist, but he's going to be there. He's going to be like there on the ice even when he's not. He's going to be in the minds of players thinking, Phil said this. Phil knows that this is the right play in this scenario. And I think it's a perfect opportunity for Phil if the Canucks do end up doing this, which in my mind, I think it will happen. You know, I think it was a no-brainer that Phil was going to be on an NHL team again this season at some point. Just a matter of who was willing to give him the chance, who was knowing that they needed a guy like Phil Kessel in the dressing room. So I think the Canucks is a perfect spot. I would assume that if he does sign with this team, it'll be pretty soon. Like management said, they don't want to keep him too long in Abbotsford. Whether it's not, they are going to sign him or give him another opportunity somewhere else. But I'm excited about this. Nick, what do you think? Do you like Phil Kessel with the Canucks?
Bring on hot dogs in Vancouver. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a perfect scenario for him if the playoffs do come. Like I said, this could completely unlock the Canucks this postseason if they do end up going deep, which a lot of us, I think they will. You know, they've been a very good team, complete switch around from last year, and I'm excited to see what happens. But let us know in the comments below what you think about Phil Kessel going to the Vancouver Canucks. It's definitely an interesting one I really want to see. But, you know, that's all we got. Make sure to hit the sub button if you haven't already. Make sure to give the video a like as well. But that's all we got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.